Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Chaos Child. In the last episode, Takuru asked Detective Shinjo to do some digging into the background of Sarako Noe. Initially, Shinjo wasn't too impressed by this request, given everything that his department has gone through since the testimony of Shinji Ito. But eventually he relented and agreed to carry out Takuru's wishes, which basically exposed the information that we've already been aware of, is the fact that until 6 years ago, the life of Sarako Noe was essentially, for all intents and purposes, a non-existent void, contrasting heavily with Takuru Miyashiro's childhood memories. Meanwhile, in the wake of this revelation, Takuru came home to Kurusu, Yuto and Uki, who were all busy preparing to craft a homemade cake, albeit in a rice cooker, which I still have concerns about leaving a rice cooker unattended for an hour, since it's pretty much liable to burn down not only the room but the entire apartment building, which isn't going to please Miyokuno Sato any at all. In fact, she is very liable to, outright murder us rather than simply verbally chew our heads off for such a negligent act. But anyway, here we are on a walk out on the town with each and everyone carrying a chocolate-coated ice cream in a cone. I took the cone from Nono's hands.
チョコとバニラでよかったよね。
It's been a long time since I've had a proper chocolate-covered ice cream, and by that I of course means the ones that you usually got from the ice cream vendors in their little vans or trucks or whatever, not the shop-based ice creams or ice blocks or whatever. Nono knew exactly what I liked.
おいしい。
And it's probably the first time ever that Uki Yamazoe has ever eaten ice cream in a cone, covered in chocolate. The ice cream, not Uki.
そうでしょ。甘くて美味しいね。
And Yuto seems to be enjoying his ice cream as well. Unfortunately, this moment of blissful happiness is somewhat soured in my mind, because, and I'm sure the others will agree with me, Yui should really be here with us, eating chocolate-covered ice cream and enjoying a walk on the town. God damn it.
っていうか、ケーキも焼いてるのに甘いものばっかでいいのか?
That's your worry? Not, why the hell didn't we have somebody stay behind to make sure we didn't burn down the only place we currently have to live?
甘いものは別腹って言うでしょ。
That's more than a little bit hypocritical of you there, Nano Kurusu. Hadn't she gotten mad when I bought those yakets? Yes, she did. She was mad when we bought those yakats. But as we learned way back when, Nano Kurusu has a weakness for sweets. But, well, if it made everybody happy, and Nano too. Indeed it is. Might even go well with Mountain View. Nano was enjoying herself, so it was okay. Indeed. Those ice creams probably did actually cost quite a bit, if I'm being honest. After we bought everything we needed, we'd run through quite a bit of cash, and yeah. Which basically means that Kurusu's earlier outburst wasn't entirely unwarranted. But still,
これは明日から節約生活ね。
indeed. Once again, reiterating my point that Takuru bought only one value pack and not several value packs of chocolates. Nano sounded kind of happy. She'd been like that for as long as I'd known her. Really? Because, as we've all witnessed at Hekio Academy, she has quite a different character. The worse the problem got, the more excited she was to solve it. That was one of the reasons everyone counted on her so much. It was a phone call, but my phone was silent in my pocket, which meant...
ごめん、私。
Phone call for Kurusu. Nano took her phone out and looked at the screen, then put it back in her bag. Probably Kawaharu or somebody from the student council.
誰?
気になる?
Normally we don't like to pry into other people's affairs, but yeah. Maybe. Although then again, if it's not that important, then it isn't that important.
違うよ。出なかっただろ。だから。
川原くんからよ。
Yeah, I figured as much.
川原くん?
He is the vice president.
うん。時々かかってくるの。いつから学校に来るんだって。
Well, they are childhood friends after all. Kawaharu might be obnoxious, but he cares when it counts.
なんだよ。
別に。
Yeah, Kurusu is all too well aware that Takuru and Kawaharu don't get along with each other at all. Weirdo.
あ、そうだ。ねえ、そういえばさっきのお店で福引きの券もらったわよね。
Wait, we got a raffle ticket?
ああ、そういや。
多分この辺でやってると思うんだけど。
Normally I never paid attention to the things even if I got them, but Nano always did. Who knows, maybe you get a free ice cream. She was always kind of like a housewife that way.
あれじゃないですか?
Yuki seems to have found the raffle place. Yuki pointed to a small tent where a man was outside yelling.
ほら、タクルも行こ
僕はいいよ。あんなの昔から当たったことなんてないし、尾上はよく当たってたけど。
Serica used to win raffles, huh? Why am I not surprised? Oh dear. Yeah, that was probably a very poor choice of words. I remembered Serica again.
う。もうそんなこと言わないで。ね。ほら、一頭は最新型ポケコンだって。
I'm not so blind as to realize that Kurusu couldn't have noticed Takuru's slip of the tongue, but I'm pretty sure that she is willfully avoiding that. Nono had very clearly heard what I said, but she was talking like nothing was unusual at all, which I suppose is fair enough as far as Yuto and Uki are concerned. But we can't ignore Serica forever. That made me feel a lot better.
お願いします。
お嬢さんたち兄弟かい？
In a manner of speaking.
わかります？
そりゃあそれだけ仲良さそうならわかるってもんだ。
Well, he's not wrong.
ねえタクル、私たち家族に見えるって。でも嬉しいけどちょっと残念かな。
はい、じゃあ全部で4回ね。
あ、はい。4回だからちょうど1人1回ね。タクルもやるのよ。
Well, one of us has to win something.
わ
Hopefully.
かったよ。
Sad. Why?
あ、それじゃあ最初は僕やってもいいかな。
Don't see why not.
どうぞ。
じゃあ行くね。残念です。僕2等の携帯ゲーム欲しかったのに。
Alas, poor Yuto.
ああいうのは当たらないようにできてるんだよ。そもそもちゃんと当たりが入っているのかどうかもわからないんだ。
That is true. Although I think that's would actually be kind of illegal if they didn't have at least one winner mixed in with the raffle.
そうなの？のの姉ちゃん。
そんなことないわよ。ただそんなに簡単には当たらないでしょうね。でも私はこれで十分。
Wait, you won something? Nono patted her 24 rolls of toilet paper and smiled. Well, I suppose that's something at least. Yamazoe and Yuto laughed. Only then did I remember that at night Yuto always used to cry, or suddenly break out screaming, due to his fear of the dark. The trauma he'd experienced during the earthquake had given him scotophobia, the fear of darkness. But ever since we moved, that hadn't happened, mainly because we're all there with him. Even after he'd lost his sister and adoptive Sakuma. Of course, part of that was due to Yuto's own efforts, but it wasn't possible to get over a phobia just by working hard. Which is very true. A lot of it was probably thanks to Nono. Nono had become more of a mother than ever. She was looking out for everyone. That's why Yuto and Yamazoe were able to smile. I'm sure you've all noticed by now that ever since he called her by her first name, Takuru has always now thought of Kurusu as Nono. Although he's still referring to Uki by her last name in his mind.
はい、タクル。炊飯器で焼いたケーキ食べるでしょ?
Yeah, fingers crossed that it isn't burnt. Also, should probably be grateful that we actually managed to make it back before we inadvertently set the entire building on fire. Yeah, pissing off Miyoku Sato was the last thing that we need right now.
タクルはマウンテンビューがいいのよね。ユートはミルクで、ウキちゃんは紅茶。
Yeah, that's too specific to be a prediction.
あのさ、ノノ。
When I said her name, she stopped what she was doing and turned around. And smiled.
まだそうやって呼んでくれるんだ。
He already did.
当たり前だろ。ノノはノノなんだし。
The days passed peacefully. Why did I want to be special? I didn't need to be special. I didn't have to be special. Well, circumstances 6 years ago told a very different story. And you are still Gigglomaniac after all. Kurusu had always told me that, so why did I only notice now? How stupid had I been? Several more peaceful days passed, and I'm surprised that Serika hasn't done anything about that. Though I'm sure that that will change in the not-so-distant future. Shinjo would contact me once in a while, but all he ever asked was if Serika had contacted me. That meant that the police hadn't found her either. Part of me is actually wondering whether or not it's possible that she's still upset over the fact that Takuru chose Kurusu over her. I couldn't let my guard down, but nobody was capable of staying on edge 24 hours a day, not even Takuru Miyashiro. And with everything that lay ahead of me, I couldn't live in fear of Serika forever. I had some savings built up, but it wasn't enough for 4 people to subsist on forever. I checked the employment sites for a good part-time job. Customer service was out of the question for obvious reasons. So was anything involving physical labor. Again. I looked for something that dealt with information, but of course I couldn't find anything. How very typical. Part of me thought about asking Kunasato if she needed help with Shibuya News, But from the look of her apartment, she probably didn't have enough money to hire me either. Considering the fact that Shibuya News and the broadcaster known as K is nothing more than an information gathering front, she's not gonna hire anyone. No, wait. If we put more ads or something on the Shibuya News page and try to get some affiliate income, except of course that Shibuya News isn't actually a real news organization, as I've just said. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Is it Mio? Or could it be someone else?
Takuru.
Nana was in the center of the room, sewing something. She tensed up. She's right to be cautious. Only a few people knew about this apartment. Or could it be Serica? Well, in any event, we'll have to answer it at some point. I silently motioned for the others to gather in the corner of the room and softly went to the door and reached out for the knob. But before I could open it, the door flung open from the outside. Oh hey, when and how did you get here?
Huh?
Although actually to answer my own question, yeah, probably shouldn't be that surprising that Hinae knows about this place. Peeking through the door were Arimura and Kazuki.
有村さん、それに和樹も。
Yeah, Hinae is one thing, but Hana Kazuki?
チャオス、お久しぶりっすね、先輩方。
Indeed it has.
お前ら、何しに来たんだよ。
あらまたこらまた。全然学校に来ない上、連絡すらくれない先輩方の様子を見に来た可愛い後輩2人に向かってずいぶんなご挨拶じゃないっすか。
You have a point.
いや、それには事情が。
なるほど。ふむふむ。ここが先輩方の愛の巣ってわけですか。
I'm so glad that Mio isn't here right now. Arimura grinned wickedly as she stared into the room.
愛の巣って何言ってるの。私たちは家族みんなで。
ああ、とにかく上がっていいっすか。お邪魔します。
She came inside without waiting for an answer, or even taking her shoes off. That would be considered bad manners. She never did listen to what anybody had to say.
To いうわけで、遠慮なくくつろいでね、花。
Yeah. Bear in mind the fact that it's more than a little cramped.
有村は少しぐらい遠慮しろよ。
ああ、お構いなく。私、安物のお茶でも気にしませんから。
This girl.
それにしてもこれはまた思った以上のボロさですね。世界遺産ものですよ。
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Although it seems like Kazuki has no disagreement there. At this point, I was wasting my time even trying to say anything.
ユウトもウキも元気そうで何よりね。
お久しぶりです。おかげさまで。
The two of them looked relieved to see the identities of our sudden visitors. It has
ま
been a
った
while.
く二人とも相変わらずね。安心したわ。
You say that, but you still have that ominous expression on your face there, Kurusu. Nana must have been happy to see them because she had a big grin on her face. You of all people should remember what that normally signifies.
学校の方はどう？
And now the feeling of absolute doom and dread has passed.
先輩たちが来ない以外は普段通りぼちぼちですよ。ねえ、花。
Indeed. And without Takuru and Kurusu there, I'm surprised that the newspaper club wasn't shut down, either temporarily or permanently. I didn't really care about school, but Nonna was the student council president. It must have been bothering her, which is no surprise.
っていうか、お前らどうやってここが分かったんだ？
あ、やっぱ気になりますそれ。
If we say no, she's gonna figure out that we're lying, so we can't really do that. I've been trying to keep it a secret, so of course I did.
聞いたんですよ、新庄さんに。
Yeah, that actually should have been obvious. It turned out to be a simple matter, as they usually do.
最初は知らないってとぼけてましたけど、私にそんな嘘ついても無駄だっていうのに、ほんと学習しないんだから、あの刑事さん。
Did you actually talk to him in person or over the phone? Because if you talked to him over the phone, I think it probably would have been harder for Hinae to actually figure out that he was lying or not. So I'm guessing they met in person. So he had no choice but to tell her then.
ってことは、人通りのことは。
いやー、やられましたよ。まさか私の能力を知っててのらりくらりとかわされてたとはね。敵ながらあっぱれです。
You seem jovial, Hinae, but I knew instantly that she was talking about Serika. Not saying the name was probably her way of trying to make me feel better, or herself for that matter. She was more delicate in things like that than you might expect, because she spent so much time worrying about what other people were thinking.
それにしても先輩も物好きっすね。よりによって隣が。
Don't say it. There was a pounding on the wall before she could finish her sentence. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's not Kazuki this time.
ダメよ。見た目通り壁薄いんだから、全部聞こえちゃうわよ。
So she is here right now. Great.
聞こえちゃうっていうか、聞いてるんじゃないですか？ほら、コップとか壁にくっつけて。
More pounding. Maybe Arimoto was right.
こら、カズキも対抗心燃やして壁殴ろうとしないの。
I was gonna say if she did actually pound the wall back in response, I was gonna laugh so much. God damn it, Kazuki. You really were, weren't you? Just having the two of them here made this place feel like the club room.
そうそう、それでですね、私たちが今日やってきた目的はですね。
Do tell. Arimoto suddenly stood up and left the room.
お？
ねえ、花も手伝ってよ。
Now it was Kazuki's turn to disappear. Yeah, I think we're about to find out what exactly is going on here. The two of them carried a large object into the room.
ちょっと、これって物質の。
I think we can all guess what this item is in question. It was the map we'd used to track the case.
なんでわざわざこれをここに？
花がどうしても持っていくって言うんだもん。
和樹が？
How very unexpected.
先輩たちが後ろでワイワイやっててくれないと円数やってても張り合いがないんだって。でも先輩たちは来ないでしょ。だったらこっちから出向くしかないってなわけで、これからはここが物質ということで一つ。
I think Mio might have a few objections levied at us over that one, Hinae. How selfish could you be? Maybe someone else might let her get away with that, but...
一つって見てわかるでしょ。ここにいきなりそんな大きなものを持ってこられても困るわ。
Yeah. Also, if Kazuki brought the school club computer over to this place, I think that might be counted as theft. See, the Empress wouldn't.
でももう持ってきちゃったんで、あとは捨てるなりなんなり好きにしてください。
Gee, thanks. Nano sighed and shrugged her shoulders. She must have realized she was wasting her time. That's Arimoto for you. In a nutshell. Hinae Arimoto could be a very scary woman to deal with. Not really.
それでは反対もないようなので、ここに碧峰学園新聞部出張所の発足式を行いたいと思います。
Who elected you the club president? Arimoto took out some Mountain View from the fridge and began to hand it to everyone. I didn't even feel up to complaining anymore.
皆さん準備はいいですか？
Why are you applauding, Kazuki? Kazuki applauded mechanically, a blank expression on her face. Now there's a look that says, I totally don't care.
それでは乾杯。乾杯です。乾杯。
She's left us with no choice. Plastic bottles hitting each other didn't exactly make for a good toast.
どうしたの有村さん。
宮代先輩とクルス先輩はここで毎晩しとねを共にしてるわけですよね。
Say another word, Hinae Arimura, and it won't be Mio Kusato that throws you out of this place. Just give me a second to collect my thoughts and ask what the hell was that? I mean, even for somebody who is laughing in hysterics, that movement was kind of bizarre.
しとねって変な言い方しないで。共同生活をしてるのよ。ほら、兄弟なんだから普通でしょ。それにユートとウキちゃんも一緒だし。
Kazuki must have found Arimura's words funny, because she was holding her stomach and laughing. I never did understand her sense of humor.
なるほど、4人で一つ屋根の下ですか。楽しそうですね。そうだ花、私たちも一緒にここで暮らそうか。
Part of me is expecting Mio to just slam down the door and kick us all out.
はあ
What was she talking about?
あのな、僕たちは別に遊びでここに暮らしているわけじゃないぞ。
Yeah, it's not like we have a choice.
そうよ。それにこの部屋にこれ以上人が増えたらとてもじゃないけど暮らしていけないわ。
Four people is stretching it as it is.
そうですか。寝るところなら何とでもなるし、みんなでお金を出し合えば家賃だって一人頭換算少なくて済みますよ。
You say that, however, for some reason Kazuki was nodding rapidly in agreement. You already have a place to live, as do you.
そんなこと言ってもだな。
それにほら見てくださいよ、今のこの状態。
Harimura stood in the middle of the room and spun around, her arms outstretched like a stage actress.
ね、
See what?
何がね、なんだ。
もうニブチンさんなんだから、いいですか？今この部屋の中には男子が2人、女子が4人。いわば宮代先輩のほぼハーレム状態。
Practically means it isn't, though.
おい、お前たち。
See what you've done, Hinae? This is 100% entirely, absolutely all your fault. Kunasato burst through the door and screamed.
隣で騒ぐなと何度も言っているだろうが、いい加減に。
ああ、いいところに。ねえ、あなたも一緒にどうですか？
You are deliberately making this worse.
一緒に？
またまた、話聞いてたんでしょ？みんなで一緒に暮らしませんかって話ですよ。
お前、頭に虫でも湧いているんじゃないか。どうして私がお前たちと。
生活費、楽になりますけど。
Neo, I have a small modicum of respect for you as it is. Don't destroy by listening to Hinae's nonsense. Don't fall for this. Please, I beg you. She felt silent. Wait, was she seriously considering it? It would be a huge colossal disappointment if she was.
冗談じゃない。どうして私がお前たちと共同生活を送らなければならないんだ。バカも休み休み言え。
See, she shot the idea right down.
とにかく、これ以上やかましく騒ぐんじゃない。次に騒いだら、脳に電極ぶっ刺してやるからな。
Are you and Kurusu Makase pen pals or something? Kunasato slammed the door shut loud enough to bother the other neighbors. It did seem like she was joking.
ほんと、相変わらず冗談の通じない人。
I don't think you get when someone's joking either.
お前たちが無駄に騒ぐからだろ。
失敬な、無駄なんかじゃないっすよ。私たちにはれっきとした重大な用が。あ、実はね、今日来た理由はもう一つあって。
Arimoto slapped her hands together as if she'd only just remembered. You really should have started with that first. But oh well.
伊藤先輩のお見舞い、行きません？
Ah, so Shinji has recovered. We heard that Ito had been released, but I didn't know that he'd recovered enough to meet with people. He was still considered a person of interest in the case, so they were refusing most visitors, but Arimoto said we could get Shinjo to let us in. That's actually going to be a very tall order. For his part, Shinjo probably hoped that we could get some information from Ito. And if Arimura was there, we could tell if Ito was telling the truth. I wanted to know how Ito was doing too. We decided to have Yuto and Yamazoe stay with Momose while we were gone. She'd already taken care of Yamazoe before, so we knew it would be safe. Ito's room was on the top floor of the hospital. And I feel this is a good time to end this episode of Let's Play Chaos Child. And when we return, adventurers, we shall see, or rather listen, for whatever information Shinji Ito can give us after everything that his mind has been put through. As always, until next we meet.